So we're going to start today with this incredible interview that took place with the now acquitted Kyle Rittenhouse on the Fox News Channel's Tucker Carlson program. This was a much promoted interview, and it confirms every single one of our suspicions about how Kyle Rittenhouse would be treated after his acquittal, which is they're making a hero out of him, or at least they're trying to. And as you watch these clips, consider the types of issues on which this 18-year-old kid who killed two people when he was 17 is being not only asked to weigh in, but Tucker's reactions, a full-grown man, reacting as if this is who we should be asking about such issues as the FBI, prosecutorial misconduct, self-defense, and on and on and on. So this is not only the exact predictable attempt to make a hero out of Kyle Rittenhouse that we predicted, but it is actually making him to be even more than that. It's making him an authority on self-defense. It's making him so many more things. So let's just jump right into it. Tucker Carlson introducing this and saying, this is the type of person you want more of in your country, if you can imagine that.
During the course of our long conversation, Kyle Rittenhouse struck us as bright, decent, sincere, dutiful, and hardworking. Exactly the kind of person you'd want many more of in your country. He's not especially political. He never wanted to be the symbol of anything.
So even just starting this with, this is just a great guy. I'm Tucker, and you trust me, and I tell you all the time what we need in this country, and we need more Kyle Rittenhouses. That's how they set the stage. And then immediately, you have Kyle Rittenhouse saying, this was about self-defense. This trial was about self-defense big picture, which the right loves. He's their hero.
It wasn't Kyle Rittenhouse on trial in Wisconsin. It was the right to self-defense on trial. Right. And if I was convicted, no one would ever be privileged to defend their life against attackers.
Now, what Kyle Rittenhouse wants you to believe, and what others want you to believe, is that if in this particular case there had been a conviction, and again, it could have been a conviction just on one of the counts. It could have been, well, with the Rosenbaum killing, it wasn't self-defense. But maybe with Anthony Huber it was, which my instinct was if there was going to be any guilty verdict, it would have been Rittenhouse and it would have been Rosenbaum and not Huber, but that's neither here nor there. He wants you to believe any guilty verdict here would mean people can't defend themselves anymore. However, that's an extremely myopic view of the facts, which include his choice to go there and his choice to go to provide medical help, supposedly, but with a gun, and on and on. This is not about adjudicating the trial, but it's the idea that what does this 18-year-old know about self-defense? He got himself into an insane situation, got away with killing two people under the guise of self-defense, but now we're going to him for advice about self-defense and what this means? It's crazy. Of course, at a certain point, you've got to bring up God, and he believes he had God on his side.
You know, you just got acquitted.
Yeah.
I mean, like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing I noticed, that you seem very calm. You don't seem like someone who's just been through had his mind blown.
Yeah, on the inside I'm freaking out, but the best thing you can do, you freak out, everybody else freaks out. It's like a chain reaction.
Yes.
So the best thing I can do is stay calm.
Do you feel like you've been watched over?
I believe God's been on my side from the beginning.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, what an amazing perspective that Tucker is eliciting here, right? And the entire interview was essentially like this. And what's very interesting is it really illuminates the difference between a propaganda interview and a real interview, because now we're going to look at an example of when Rittenhouse is allowed to get away with something with Tucker that he never would have been able to get away with in court. He says, after I did shoot Joseph Rosenbaum, I was going to render first aid, when in the trial, through cross-examination, it was clear that was not the case.
Well, he gets shot. You decide at that point, unless I'm misremembering, you want to go turn yourself into the police.
Yes. After I shoot Mr. Rosenbaum, he tried to grab my gun. I was running away. There was a gunshot behind me. After I shoot him, I run around the car because I was going to go render first aid to him.
Even this, I mean, this story is not the story that came out in the trial. Rosenbaum grabbed my gun in order to take it from Kyle Rittenhouse. That's a detail that was left unclear from the case. I'm not saying was or wasn't self-defense. Again, as I said from the beginning, I think the facts lend themselves to a reasonable doubt that this was self-defense as Kyle Rittenhouse saw it. But this story, he tried to grab my gun and I still ran around the car to try to give him first aid after the first shot. That's not really what the video appears to show, but in a propaganda interview, you're allowed to get away with it.
I wasn't able to because then there was a mob forming and calling for my execution to get him and kill him.
And of course, what's in between that Kyle Rittenhouse doesn't mention are the 3 further shots to Rosenbaum after Rosenbaum was already seemingly disabled. So it's not about relitigating the case. It's about understanding that this is a propaganda interview where he's allowed to give any version of events, even versions of events not backed up by the exhibits presented in the trial, and that conflict with what came out in the trial. Okay, let's look at another clip here.
This case has nothing to do with race. It never had anything to do with race. It had to do with the right to self-defense.
Right.
I'm not a racist person. I support the BLM movement. I support peacefully demonstrating. And I believe there needs to be change. I believe there's a lot of prosecutorial misconduct, not just in my case, but in other cases. And it's just amazing to see how much a prosecutor can take advantage of somebody.
So once again, this is another one of those examples of 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse on prosecutorial misconduct. They're making him an authority. They're making him a hero. They're making him a poster child when just because you were accused of a crime doesn't mean you know anything about supposed prosecutorial misconduct. And he knows now, and people are commenting, oh, he supports BLM. Okay. Maybe we have no idea what that means. Maybe he does. I'm not denying that he does. It might just mean he supports BLM insofar as they have a right to be heard at protests. It could mean, it doesn't really matter here, but he's learning the talking points. And in this next clip, you're going to see him do the FBI stuff, which is, remember, among the right now, you have to criticize the FBI. And he says, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep me safe. You know how the FBI works, this is classic red meat to those who know what to listen for.
To look at the facts of what happened.
Do you feel the threats?
I do. I see some of the threats, some of the things people say. It's absolutely sickening.
Are you confident that the government will protect you from these threats? Because that's, of course, the government's job.
I hope so, but we all know how the FBI works.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, it's been,
Okay. So he knows the talking points. He knows it. We got to be very skeptical and critical of the FBI. That's something that grew significantly under Trump. And that has become sort of a standard calling card now of right-wing media. So he's got that one. He learned that one for sure. The topic of Joe Biden came up, and Kyle Rittenhouse even given the opportunity to send a message directly to President Joe Biden.
It's like my case.
What did you make of the President of the United States calling you a white supremacist?
Mr. President, if I could say one thing to you, I would urge you to go back and watch the trial and understand the facts before you make a statement.
That's not a small thing to be called that.
No, it's actual malice, defaming my character for him to say something like that.
Defamation. We're going to come back to that because that actually comes up again. Now, in the midst of this, you might remember that all sorts of shady characters got wrapped up with Kyle Rittenhouse early on. One of them is Lynn Wood, this sort of Trump-affiliated wacky attorney who's made all sorts of insane claims about COVID, as well as about the 2020 elections. And this is sort of a departure from what we've been talking about. Kyle Rittenhouse talks about how he believes he was taken advantage of by some of these lawyers who were raising money for themselves, and he was kept in jail. And it's actually, this is just a crazy aspect to this.
How long were you there?
I was in jail for 87 days, and this follows in with Lynn Wood, Lynn Wood was raising money on my behalf, and he held me in jail for 87 days, disrespected my wishes, put me on media interviews, which I should never have done, which he said, oh, you're going to go talk to the Washington Post, which was not a good idea. Along with John Pierce, they said I was safer in jail instead of at home with my family. And then after I'm bailed.
Your own lawyer said that?
My lawyer said that, John Pierce and Lynn Wood.
87 days is a long time to be in jail.
It was very long. I lost a lot of weight in there. I since then gained it back.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. This is a propaganda interview, but it also shows you that these sort of predatory figures like Lynn Wood, they're everywhere, and there's no opportunity that they won't take advantage of. And here Rittenhouse talks about how he was treated in jail. Now there's two sides to this part. Let's listen.
But I didn't have running water.
Seriously?
I had a phone also, but I did not have running water, so I didn't shower until November 20th.
How long
From
is that?
October 31st to November 20th, I did not take a shower.
That's disgusting.
I smelled terrible. I felt sick. I lost weight. My health was degrading.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this one is this has happened in the context of the January 6th riots as well, where by we I mean we on the left, have been sounding the alarm about jail and prison conditions, pretrial detention, etc., for more than a decade on this program. And the right has not cared about it until it affects them. And so now you've heard everybody from Marjorie Taylor Greene to who knows who on the right complain about the alleged conditions in which the alleged January 6th Trump rioters have been held. And now jail conditions all of a sudden are a big deal to them. And similarly, now all of a sudden with the Rittenhouse stuff, that issue is, now they care about that issue. Now, it's actually an important issue, but it's again the brazen nature by which they only care about it when it affects them. There have been questions, is Kyle Rittenhouse going to sue media outlets for things they said about him? Various legal opinions about whether that would go anywhere, but Kyle Rittenhouse sort of using coded language to say, yeah, we may do that.
And they would like to see you help make this better by holding some of these liars to account. Do you plan to do that?
I have really good lawyers who are taking care of that right now. So I'm hoping one day there will be accountability for their actions that they did.
Okay, so you're intent on you're not going to let that go.
Like I said.
So suggesting there that there may well be defamation suits coming, and where those will go, we have absolutely no idea, but it's looking like this is going to be a very litigious year or two for Kyle Rittenhouse. And then lastly, Kyle Rittenhouse, the lionization and the heroism continues with Kyle talking about what kind of a career he wants to pursue.
What do you think your life's going to be like after this?
I'm hoping I can live a quiet, stress-free life. And be free of any intimidation or harassment, and just go on with my life as a normal 18-year-old kid attending college.
So you're going to go to college?
I am in college. I'm a student at Arizona State University.
Now, in the trial, it seems like that was not true unless something has changed, but that's really neither here nor there.
What I mean, are you going to go to campus and?
I think I am. I want to. It's a lot of things we have to look into, so I don't know for sure yet. But I do intend on going in campus and pursuing a career in nursing. I may change it. I've been looking into law. I may want to become a lawyer. I haven't completely decided yet. But I've been looking. I want to be a nurse, so I've been doing the prerequisites for.
How nice, right? So exactly as predicted, this is the new hero. This is the new hero. And of course, you can judge for yourselves based on your values and how you see the world, whether you think that He's worthy of being designated this hero, but weighing in on everything from prosecutorial misconduct to the trustworthiness of the FBI on the basis of the fact that he killed 2 people and was acquitted for it, exactly as we predicted. On December 14th, we will be doing our next David Pakman Show viewer town hall. It will be on the Pakman Live YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to that channel at youtube.com/PakmanLive. We're going to take a quick break and be back right after this. One of our sponsors is Allform, hands down the easiest way to custom build your own sofa. You choose the premium fabric you want. You choose the sofa size, shape, color, even the color of the legs. You can customize every aspect of your new sofa to make sure it's the perfect fit for your home. I got my first Allform sofa a year ago. I just got a second one, which is really exciting. These really are the sofas I would have bought for my home. Even if Allform was not a sponsor, you really can't beat the quality, the modern minimal design. The sofas are spill, stain, and scratch proof. You can buy one piece and start with that, and then buy more seats and accessories to add on later. Shipping is fast and free. You get 100 days to decide if you want to keep the sofa. It comes with a forever warranty, and you'll get 20% off when you go to allform.com/Pakman. The link is right underneath this video.